3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I am your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from the Smut Studio in Venice Beach, California, with my co-host, Joey Fuck Prano.
Oh, wow. We've already been deplatformed. We just got deplatformed before the show even started, Andy.
I did it.
What were you doing? I put my thoughts on Fuckgate on Reddit. I'm not sure if you saw them.
I did not.
Oh, you didn't see it?
I didn't. I got to go to Reddit more.
It was basically an ode to all the things Andy Ruther.
Was it in that thread about the where there was I think there was 17 comments or something like that?
Yeah.
I think I missed yours.
Oh, I mean it was late because I haven't been on Reddit. I'll read it just for Andy. I think it's important for everybody to know because there was a lot of thoughts on it was what is the deal with Ruther and swearing.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to go in there. I saw Nick had a comment and you were like, everything Nick just said is true. So my thoughts on swearing gate. I was like, fuck the people who don't want to hear Coach O tell people to suck his tiger dick. Fuck the people who don't want to imagine Doris Burke with a dick. Fuck the people who don't want to entertain the idea that Sister Jean has herpes. Fuck the people who don't think wearing a jersey of a team not playing in a game means someone should fuck your wife. Fuck the people who don't want Andy Ruther standing outside the NFL offices with a sign that says fuck Roger Goodell. Fuck the people who don't want to hear about getting shit on your dick because you butt-fucked a Mexican grandmother. Fuck the people who don't think a kid devoting his life to shitting in socks is funny. Fuck the people who don't think stories of concussion-riddled athletes trying to decapitate their dead father's corpse with a samurai sword is hilarious. Fuck the people who don't want to hear a story about jerking off on someone's sister's turtle for revenge. But most of all, fuck the people who can't handle hearing the word fuck. My final thoughts.
It's like you completely missed the point, though. Like you completely have missed the point. That's what you've missed. It's about sometimes, and again, this isn't all on you. This is including me. And sometimes we use things too often. It loses effect. When Coach O goes on a tirade, that's amazing. That's a shtick, right? When certain things happen, like you're going on a rant about the Knicks, of course there's going to be a bunch of F-bombs. That's the point, Joe. It's also about trying to expand the audience, as you know. Do you want to make more money? That's a good question.
Well, yeah, but my point is...
No, but hold on. Do you want to make more money?
Sure. But also that only to a point. You have to be careful of who you're... Again, somebody goes, man, I don't like this show. They swear too much. When they get to butt fucking a Mexican grandmother and ending up with shit on your dick, they're gonna crash your car off the road.
So you're bringing up something that was probably discussed in the show. What, 5 years ago? 6 years ago?
Yeah.
Even in that instance, you don't have to use certain words.
But that's exactly my point. The idea that the word fuck is somehow worse than a description of having anal sex with a grandmother and ending up with fecal matter on your penis. See, we can use all the scientific words we want. That's disgusting.
100% agree. See, we're in agreement here. We're in agreement, but the thing is, I don't think you realize how people view it. I think a lot of people, the actual language.
Right. Those people are fucking douchebags.
I'm not disagreeing.
Right. So let's not cater to the douchebag crowd.
I'm catering to
the word police.
It's not catering. It's saying, why not try to possibly
market ourselves to the word police?
Market ourselves to making more money, getting more listeners, getting more advertisers. You can still say things without just dropping certain graphic words. I can do the same. That's the point. And I feel like you're still not understanding this.
I think the word police is a huge. I think that's like a huge topic.
It's not the word. It's not the word police, Joe. Because if you and I got a show on ESPN or Fox Sports 1,
the FCC would fine you and take your show off there, or they would just bleep you.
No, you wouldn't have a show. They would say, "Hey guys, these are the restrictions that Dirty Sports has moving forward." Correct?
Right. Correct. We don't have a show on that. We have a show on. We have a podcast.
But my question to you is, you would clean up the language if ESPN or Fox Sports 1 said, hey,
Well,
here's a show.
the original hashtag from the Dirty Sports Podcast, the very first thing is Andy Ruther with fuck ESPN. So now you're talking about cleaning it up. The original, like the basis for the Dirty
That's
Sports
not the basis.
was you going, fuck ESPN. That was like that was like your mantra for like
Okay.
3 years.
Well, that's an exaggeration.
Okay.
But see now I can't believe we're doing this to start the show. Now you're going down this like people can't change rabbit hole, which I think is ridiculous.
It's not about people can't
No,
change.
no, it
it's
is.
about what is the point of doing this. Is that we're not going to do
the point
the ESPN show.
The point of doing this is obviously our take on sports that has a lot of comedy, a lot of edgy elements. But my point too is as I get older, as I mature and evolve as a person, just like I don't do the same things that I would do in, let's say, friendships or relationships or socially that I've done a few years ago. My point is it's a challenge to maybe try to want to expand and broaden the horizons. It doesn't mean we're not going to have the Aaron Hernandez Savage of the Year award. All I'm saying is that why not try something? It doesn't mean, hey, you can't swear, you can't say things. That's my angle of just trying to look into possibilities. We all want to make more money, do we not?
Sure. But, that is the definition of selling out.
You could say every ad read we do is the definition of selling out.
Except we don't. We're not doing like
We've done some. Be honest.
honestly, going back, what have we done where we're like, I despise that. Like I drink Miller Lite every day.
Okay.
That's not selling out.
No, I
I
agree.
use Harry's razors every day.
I do too. But we've definitely done some ads where we've sold out. The environmentally sound cleaning products.
I used it. You know what I'm saying? Like I used it. I wasn't fundamentally opposed to environmentally safe products.
I wasn't either, but it's a stretch is all I'm saying. I hate that word.
We're not going to do Juul vapes. We're not going to do Marlboro ads on this show. Like, we're not even going to do rhymes with Fudd Right ever on this show because that would be selling out. Anyway, we're going to fucking do this fucking show. Fuck it. We'll do it live. Can you swear on Twitch, Nick? Are we getting deplatformed on Twitch? Because Ruther was swearing. Talk about
He was a sailor last night.
Ruther, every single time he had the ball into the basket, turned into Richard Pryor.
Yeah.
What the fuck? This motherfucker can't dunk.
You mean to tell me?
You mean to be fucking motherfucking telling me? He turned into a combination of Richard Pryor and the Crows from Dumbo. He's like, this motherfucker right here needs to be dunking the basketball.
I was bad. We're on Twitch now, and Nick set it up. Where can they follow us, Nick?
Twitch.tv/Dirty Sports.
And he set up Joe to play me in NBA 2K. It was a bloodbath.
What's funny is just like the different. Neither of us had played anything. I'm just like focusing on learning the game, and you abandon that like 3 seconds in, and we're like, "This is dumb."
I don't like
Gamers are dorks.
I don't like video games.
No. You're just not good at them.
But no, but that's not true.
But he made no effort.
Yeah.
He's not even like.
You're right.
There was a little bit of Shibeli to it too, like the inability to learn, the refusal to learn.
No, I don't know what does Shibeli have to do with that?
Because Shibeli, I mean, how many times can you get Dennis Green wrong? I mean, you passing the ball up court directly to my guys was Shibeli and Dennis Green. It's like stop not understanding it and just learn it.
It's a lack of caring, though.
Well,
that's what it is.
Well, you should take, pride in everything you do, Andy.
I should, but I've never really been that big into video games. And you guys mocked me last night, but I am more of like an old school. I'd rather, dude, I could play a Pac-Man video game at the arcade for hours.
We need Joe Rogan to be like do an episode on gaming so that Ruther jumps on board. It's like, Rogan says like the hand-eye coordination can be greatly improved by playing Xbox.
It's gotta practice, man.
I'm in.
That's all it is.
Let's cook up a little elk and play.
I'm sure there.
2K.
I've actually been listening to no podcast in the last few months. I don't know why. No, there's actually probably truth.
Spoiler. That's same with everybody else.
Yeah.
Hello, 5 people.
There's actually truth to the hand-eye coordination. I don't know. It's tough for me to get into video games.
Now let's take this back to your childhood. Let's go full Freud here.
Okay.
Did your brothers play video games and
Yeah.
not let you play?
No,
and
we always had gaming consoles.
Because I said it multiple times last night. If you guys want to go back, can they watch the old Twitch?
Yep.
I said it multiple times. Your effort reeked of Mikey Prano. You had big Mikey Prano energy.
Your little brother.
Yeah.
I mean, at one point you just put down the controller and everyone stood still.
The amount of controllers we had to rebuy, the amount of like walls that had to be like plastered over because I would just beat Mikey into the point where he would. And the thing was, Mikey would always keep it kind of close and then just lose a heartbreaker and then then there was just a disaster. Things being kicked, thrown, holes in walls, and just a lot of like, this game is cheating. You put in a code, like a lot of like conspiracies about how I have dialed into this game solely to beat him. There's no way Latrell Sprewell can hit that many threes in a row. You put in a code. Just heavy Mikey Prano energy coming from you. Just turning very dark, very negative. You turned on the fans at one point. Turned on the gaming community in general.
I did. I'll never get into video games. I just know that. Because for me, it's a way, like, it's not how I want to spend my time. It's just not. It's nothing personal. I'm going to play you tonight. Nick has now announced what you said to me earlier. He set the over-under.
Well, I rewatched the game. I went to the game film. I read it. I looked at it, and I'm like, I can beat this guy by 80. I mean, like, you're selling every jump shot. It's late every time. You're taking
80.
awful looks. Your ball movement is
I feel like you almost have to go. Like ball hold offense against him. Although you're not very good at holding the ball. You pass it to the other team every time.
So you're setting the
But
over.
I'm saying I almost feel like you got to play for the spread.
I mean, I'm surprised you scored 25 points against Prano.
So you're setting the over-under at 80.
Yeah.
And we're going to be classic teams.
Yeah.
Tonight on Twitch.
Yeah.
Be the classic Knicks. Ball hold, lots of defense, get a little Ewing, a little Oakley.
So here's what I've learned in this quarantine.
Get Melo out of that starting lineup.
Melo's. I'm not going to be a team with Melo.
I'm saying he's on the all-time Knicks, but if you get Melo out of that starting lineup, you go all defense. You get Oakley in there,
Bro.
you get Ewing.
Defense, I'm not worried about that. I'm
Get
worried
a
about.
little Pat Riley defensive ball.
I need to learn how to make a jump shot.
I agree.
I mean, it was bad. And then we went and
We practiced jump shots for like 5 minutes, just shooting jump shots.
And then we played Madden.
Where I was just it was a hit stick bonanza.
I mean, I think I can fare better at Madden. I just got to learn the buttons. See, that's my thing. And you guys can all laugh
I
at
just
this.
got to learn the buttons.
There's too many buttons.
Ruther's looking down at the controller while he's dropping back in the pocket with Russell Wilson, trying to figure out which button is Tyler Lockett before he gets sacked.
There's too many buttons. I like a simple game. Like,
This is the most dad take of all time. There's too many buttons.
let it be a dad take.
Let's get some Twitch Pong going.
I'm ready for you guys to come at me again.
Twitch Pitfall out here. I'll jump over some mud holes.
We got to find a game for Ruther. I don't know what that game is.
I already told you. Take
Little
me to
Excite Bike.
Take me. Oh, that's a fun one. Take me to an old school arcade,
We can't do that on Twitch.
and I'll play a little Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaga. Take me to an old. That's why I like going to the Santa Monica Pier when it's actually opened. They got
That
old.
dirty place.
I'm sure it's filthy. It's closed right now, of course. Old school, like that. By the way, that's one of my. This is like if I ever made enough money, from the sponsors, I would love to have a game room. I've always thought about this with old school arcade games and a Pop-A-Shot. And that's what I want to do, guys. Everybody listening, I don't want to play video games. I could play Pop-A-Shot for 2 hours.
What you're saying is you want to play video games. You just want to play video games you know how to play. You have passed the point of learning new things.
I just don't have a desire for these
You're like,
things.
I'll kill NBA Jam. It's like, yeah, because you played NBA Jam a bunch.
So, like, a couple years ago, here's an example of, like, I realized I was
Like, I know for a fact right now, off the couch, no practice, I'll beat any single person alive on NBA Live 95. Let's go. Today. You can't make more shots than I can make, and I'll make them all. But you know, at the same time, I'm like, 2K's fun, man. Let's go. Like, I learned it. I was thinking last night while I was in bed, I'm like, you know, I used to be a pretty good icon passer back in the day, but that was because I knew where all the PlayStation buttons are. Once I figure out where the Xbox buttons are, be okay.
Yeah, as soon as
Then I'll be throwing outlet passes to Walton, throwing it down.
Prano learned how to drive and rim run, and once he learned that, it was all downhill. I think it was like somewhere in like the second half, like early third quarter.
Yeah.
Because halftime it was still like a 12-point game.
yeah.
Yeah, something like that, and then it turned into a 50-point blowout all of a sudden.
You want seconds?
It was we had
more,
we
Prano?
we had NBA 2K going. And it was like and then suddenly I figured out how to rim run, and it was guys carrying your coffin. That was the sound of Bill Walton carrying your coffin and throwing you down into the ground.
Bill Walton, who, by the way, told us we should not swear. Remember that?
Yeah. Bill Walton and I, you know, different people. That's why he's my vice president, because we have that balance going.
You saying you want seconds from me?
Oh, dude, I would love it. I could honestly use another game against you just to like get my game on, and then I feel like I could take Nick.
Let's do it.
And by the way, I don't mean take. I just mean take on. I mean just even feel comfortable playing.
Do you want to Twitch tonight?
We'll see. See where we're at.
You're like, I got to watch 14 more movies.
God, I signed up for the Criterion channel, 14-day trial, but I'm honestly already thinking about keeping $10.99 a month. That is I mean, they're really trying to like hold people who, you know, like art over the coals. They're like, yeah, you're kind of a little stuck-up guy for even signing up for the Criterion channel. I bet you we could suck $10.99 out of you. But I think probably I'll just crush 3 movies a day for the 14-day trial and then out, and then maybe start on a different email
3
address.
movies a day.
I watched 2 movies on the Criterion channel yesterday, but I decided to watch it after I watched The Dead. I think it's The Dead Don't Die, or The Dead Don't Die, which is a Jim Jarmusch zombie movie. And then I was like, oh, I'd like to watch some other Jim's films, and they're probably not available anywhere, but I'm sure they're all on Criterion. And so then I got the Criterion channel, and then I watched The Day Trippers, and I watched 3 Days of the Condor, a Robert Redford like spy, CIA thriller. But like movies you hear about all the time, but like you're just like, where am I going to watch that? Criterion channel. I'm on it. 3 a day. Let's go.
Dude,
3 a day plan.
I can barely watch 1 movie a day. The quarantine and the lockdown has taught me a couple things about myself. I don't like gaming, and I really don't watch that much. Most of my life was watching sports as far as TV is concerned.
Yeah.
But
sports are gone, so now you got to get into.
Dude,
you know?
I don't know what to do. I picked up running hard again. That's what I'm just going to do. Just run. Although, the other night,
I'm just going to watch 3 movies a day with some NBA 2K breaks.
you know what the best thing to do is?
Mixing a book when I'm on the toilet.
Go out at night when no one's around. Yo, it's crazy. I ate an edible on Friday night and rode my bike for like 90 minutes around Santa Monica. It's awesome. Like, that's what I want to do. That's going to be my new thing. I think get stoned.
Andy, think about can you consider our sober crowd for a little bit? Not everybody wants to hear about your rampant drug use. Some people are like, hey, I'm here for the sports. I don't need to. I'm trying to listen to this show in the car with my kids. I don't got to hear about this guy's just ingesting cannabis daily. We apologize to all of you straight edge out there.
This is what Joe does. If you figure this out yet, Nick, he takes one little recommendation and then he goes to the extreme level. It's classic Prano.
Saying broaden the horizons.
My horizons are broad, and that's what I'm doing. I am getting off the couch and it's perfectly safe at night because no one's out. I'm social distancing, for the record, and I'm just hopping on my bicycle or going for a run when no one is out.
Are you wearing your mask, Andy, that I gave you?
Not when I run.
You should be.
When I was on my bike, I did.
Okay.
How can I breathe with that when I'm running?
I mean, they're made to breathe through.
You think when I run I can breathe with that thing?
I mean, you can.
And then it gets all sweaty. No, I don't.
It's a little difficult to breathe. You got to
Yeah.
get a breathable mask though, which are all sold out. But
Which
sure
you
can
can't find.
them.
But you want to discuss this 9 sports movies thing?
Well, I saw it on Twitter today. This is like this is what Twitter's become. It's like everything's a discussion now. The big tweets now are all things that are like asking you for something. Could you eat all this McDonald's for $3,500? Which of these movies? One team. Who do you got? And I liked this one because we were talking just about watching movies, and we were talking, and obviously there's no sports. I'm sure there's not a Criterion Collection version of any of these movies except maybe Rocky. But the 9 sports movies put in this, and then you started listing other sports movies, and I was like, you're getting away from the point. The point is, this tweet asks you, there's 9 sports movies here, but you can only keep 3. Which 3 do you keep? Nick and I have answers, and it sounds like you have the 2 or possibly 3 that you've actually watched. But the 9 sports movies they put up were Friday Night Lights, Rudy, Coach Carter, Remember the Titans, The Blind Side, or is it just Blind Side, Space Jam, Rocky, Glory Road, and Miracle. I knew my 3 the second I looked at it.
So you can only keep 3.
You can only keep 3.
You want to copy and paste that, Nick, and just put that in the comments? That way people can see. What 3 are you taking?
I am taking Rudy, Rocky, Miracle. And I'll tell you why. Friday Night Lights, loved the book. Movie was a bit of a letdown. Show brought it back. I did not like.
Wow.
I did not really enjoy Friday Night Lights. I think maybe having read the book and loving it, I don't think it did a good enough job of the book. And then the TV show was just like, it's the same premise, but it has nothing to do with the book. Like, there was none of the same characters, none of the same. They just took the concept and then created a show about Texas high school football, and I was like, oh, I like this. This is great. Rudy's an all-timer, and for a kid who grew up, the only kid on the high school football team that was under 100 pounds, I'm clocking in at 5'2", 96 pounds, and rooting for Notre Dame. I cried when I saw Rudy in the theater. Coach Carter, overrated. Remember the Titans. I guess Nick would like that because I was like, millennials boner out over Remember the Titans. It's a fine movie, but everybody's got to relax. Blindside was pretty good. Space Jam is all right. Rocky is one of the all-time great movies, regardless of
genre.
sports. Yeah. And then Glory Road was pretty trash, honestly. And I liked Miracle, especially, growing up in the 80s, the Miracle on Ice so important. Kurt Russell as
Again.
Coach Herb Brooks. Yeah.
Again.
Just strong. And then the speech, so good.
Well,
so those are my 3.
Well, Nick, you go because we all know I'm
right.
gonna get destroyed on this.
So I had trouble. I have 2 for sure with Miracle and Friday Night Lights, and I think the reason I picked Friday Night Lights, I've actually read this book too, but I read it after I watched the movie. Believe it or not, Andy, I have read a book recently, or report on it as well. So I'm going Friday Nights and Miracle. So I have a football movie and a hockey movie, so I felt like I had to pick a basketball movie here. So that's between Space Jam and Coach Carter. And for that reason, I just saw it recently, and it was god-awful. But damn, it was so awful that I thought it was great. I'm going Space Jam.
I almost think we have to fire you for not having Rocky.
I was just gonna say
It's fine.
If you've seen Rocky,
Well, you
right?
know, Friday Night Lights is a serious movie. Miracle, very serious movie. Do I need Rocky to have another serious movie? I've seen Rocky. Yes.
Rocky is an all-time.
That's fine.
Like Joe said.
Brett Ernst is on the record as saying Rocky is the greatest movie of all time.
It's up there.
I'm trying to like
That's
diverse.
Predator's the number one.
I gotta have different genres. I have a little animation in there. I can't go all serious because sports movies they can get bland at times. But Space Jam is a little different than a regular sports movie in my opinion.
You said Space Jam wasn't good when you watched it.
Yeah, I know it was awful, but like there's a lot of movies that are awful that are still entertaining. A movie can be bad and still be
Especially as
entertaining.
a rewatchable.
But this is
Exactly.
I'm confused. If you just said it's awful, but you choose it as your top 3 of this 9.
Well, you can only pick 3, so I'm getting a little bit of everything.
6 of them go away.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that
Ruther,
you've only
have
seen
you,
2
have
of
you
these.
seen 3 of these?
So I got roasted before the show. I have not seen Friday Night Lights. I have not seen Coach Carter. I have not seen Remember the Titans. I have not seen Space Jam. I have not seen Glory Road. I have not seen Miracle.
So you've seen Rudy,
Blindside, and Rocky.
and Rocky.
And the only reason I saw Blindside, it was on a flight cross country, so I just watched it. Again, this is revealed. I don't watch that many movies. I don't. And I can get roasted for it. I don't watch that many movies, and I don't watch that many TV shows.
You've seen every Star Wars.
I have seen every Star Wars.
Nerd!
Last night we were driving, and I brought up the movie Coco. Have you seen Coco, Joe? It's that Pixar movie.
No.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Did I see it?
It's about Dia de los Muertos.
Yes, I did.
You did
I
see
did.
it.
Day of
I
the Dead.
I took my Mexican little brother
Yeah.
to see it in the theater.
Good Pixar movie. I brought it up, and I asked Andy, like, hey, have you seen Coco? He said, oh, I don't watch cartoons. I'm not a child.
I was being facetious, Nick. I was joking.
Especially
Very
considering
offensive.
you watch South Park more than anybody alive.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was joking because you and I watched Dumbo Saturday night, the 1941 version anyway, or Friday night. So I was not being serious.
You sounded pretty serious in your tone. You backpedal real quick. You rope and doped like Dion.
Dude, like Brano just said, I've seen every episode of South Park.
Yeah.
So I was not being serious. I'm not anti-cartoon. But the fact that I haven't seen most of these is pretty revealing.
Yeah.
I just, sports movies don't do it for me.
I don't really think you're missing out on a ton.
But you're a
there.
movie guy, Joe.
Yeah. For sure.
I would consider you like a movie buff, a movie aficionado. I'm just not.
I just enjoy watching movies. I like movies to me, especially movies in theaters, even at home a little bit. Like when I watched Ozark, which, God, I'm so glad I'm done. I mean, I was on my phone the whole time, basically. Like, it was really hard for me to, I'd be like, oh, God, this guy again? And I would just, like, check my phone. When I have a movie on, it's just like, I'm just watching a movie.
Yeah.
And especially going to theater. Going to theater to see a movie is like going to a concert. It's just like you're there. It's an experience. Lights go down. Phone gets shut off. Popcorn, soda. So,
How often when you say you go to movies a year? I probably go to the theater 3 times a year.
Not nearly as much as I used to, because now basically there was a time where I'd be like, I'm just gonna go see a movie. I would even, and when I was in New York, I would go to movies alone regularly because like I'm around during the day, daytime matinee prices, whatever. But nowadays, I'm only going if I'm like, I have to see this movie now. Like, I need to see it before, like, I can't wait for the DVD release. Like, when Once Upon a Time in Hollywood came out, I'm like, I'm going to go see a Quentin Tarantino movie in the theater. This is the first Star Wars that I have not seen in the theater of the only other one, the only other of the entire Star Wars universe I didn't see was Solo in the theater.
Yeah.
And then this one, which I still haven't seen. But I probably still go to 6 movies a year. I probably go to a movie every 2 months.
Yeah.
I love going to movies around Christmas time, around the holidays. I'll do movies like Christmas. Will be like movie, because they always put out a ton of movies at Christmas. Like I'm kind of over these days though. Like even the cinema experience changed. It's like every Avengers movie is being played in 12 theaters, and you need a password to go see. Just like a good, normal, regular movie these days. Like, oh, it's in a speakeasy.
How do you guys feel about when you go to the theater and the theater makes you like pick your seats, or do you like the first come first serve?
I
approach?
love picking my seats.
Okay.
Love it.
Not a fan.
Not a fan of picking your seats?
No, not a
in
fan.
advance?
No. I agree. I like where the Southwest, you kind of just first come, first serve.
What kind of savagery is this? Why? What is the benefit of this?
I like to peruse when I get in there.
I will go to, if I'm like, I'm going to go at 7 p.m. to see this movie, I'll go in. If there's not a seat I like, I'm like, I'll go to the next one, or I'll go to a different theater. I will adjust my time and destination so that I can sit 2/3 of the way up in the middle.
Now, when you're watching these movies during your Joe Prano quarantine,
Yeah.
you ever drinking a fresh Miller Lite?
I was doing it yesterday.
Yeah?
3 days of the Condor, some Miller Lights. It's my movie watching partner. These days, I don't have somebody to just sit there and watch a movie with. I'm going to sit there and watch it with a Miller Lite.
That's right, guys. Because you are being a good Californian, a good American. You're practicing social distancing.
I am.
Guys, right now, having a Miller Lite with friends in real life, isn't possible. But staying connected is still important, right, Joe?
Very important.
Now, when everything ends, what are you looking forward to most? What type of events are you looking forward to that you can reconnect with some buddies, family, over some fresh Miller Lights?
What are some events?
Like, where do you look forward to going?
I mean, a barbecue, a baseball game. I mean, I think that's the first two things
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to doing when we're no longer socially distancing.
Yeah.
Get together, sun shining, baseball, Miller Lite.
Some tailgate parties.
Is there any, like, I'm thinking about my top 3 things in life: sunshine, baseball, Miller Lite.
Yeah.
Doing them all together.
That's right. Guys, Miller Lite is the original light beer. While you're home, enjoy a classic. Available for delivery today. So stay at home, be safe, be smart. It is available for delivery. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
Gotta say, Andy, I mean, it's interesting times that we live in, but it's certainly there are some silver linings or gold linings in the case of the golden pilsner that is Miller Lite. I feel great about being at home and having Miller Lite delivered to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need a Miller Lite. How about somebody brings it to my home? Let's go.
That's right.
The Criterion Collection and a little Miller Lite, the original light beer. If there was a light beer that was going to have a Criterion Collection version, like a double disc, it's Miller Lite.
Yeah.
Yeah, love it.
And you were enjoying a few when we played Twitch last night.
You know I was. Miller Lite crosses genres. I'm not saying I won because I was drinking Miller Lite and you got blown out because you were not, but
although I was drinking out of this amazing water bottle that
we'll have to keep testing the sample size. We'll see how Nick does on Miller Lites versus you on water tonight.
Okay, we'll have to check that out. And that's a good segue for Jameis Winston because you said the word water.
Yeah.
We have to laugh about this. Jameis Winston got married over the weekend. And I looked at his wife's Instagram page.
Mm-hmm.
He got married in a pool.
Does anybody know what this, like, is there an explanation for this?
Her Instagram page says, a week when nothing was going as planned, our initial wedding had just been postponed and I was in a funk. But Jameis Winston came through and put together a beautiful, intimate ceremony in the privacy of our own home. And it seemed it was meant to be this way all along. Hashtag Mr. and Mrs. Winston. And the picture, if you go to her Instagram page, Jameis Winston's wife's Instagram page, they are standing on the steps of a pool, and the minister of the wedding is like a good foot deep with his pants in the pool.
I can't figure out if this is just like, oh, we're going to do it out by the pool, or we're going to do it on the beach, or we're going to do whatever. So this is like our version of that. Or if this is some weird Jesus baptism thing, like the priest is up to his knees in water. We're all going to get dunked after this. Like, is this a religious thing?
No.
This is just like,
I think he's barefoot.
This is Jameis being Jameis.
yeah.
Have you ever seen someone standing in a pool to get married? The chaplain is in a pool.
No, I've not seen it. It's a very Jameis move.
Right?
Yeah.
in his backyard. That'd be like me getting married in the Savage Town pool.
And now you have to. And now I think that's where, if you ever get married, it has to happen in the Savage Town pool.
Will Jameis Winston be on a roster?
Yes.
Okay. Yes.
I think he will, because it seems crazy to me, and literally no one's a bigger Jameis Winston critic than I am. But it seems crazy to me based on...
You know what I just thought of? Sorry, let me
What?
cut you off real quick. What if Prano wrote, like, a couple years from now, what if Prano wrote not a response book
Yeah.
to Jameis One of
The
One?
400-page book. The 400-page Jameis Winston Truth Syndrome.
What if you stopped watching movies during the quarantine and you started writing your Jameis Winston response book?
Well, again, just the idea. Like, how absurd is it? The idea of me writing a book. It goes back to the original point that we brought up when I discovered Jameis One of One and made Jameis One of One's career by mentioning him on the show.
You really did make his career.
I mean, he had no followers before we put that video out.
He had like 400.
Yeah. Now he's like in 8,000.
Yeah. Doing national radio.
Yeah.
You guys created a beast.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Prano did.
There's still you go back to the original point. No person, including author Jameis One of One, has the time, the energy, and the numerical statistics to put that book together. That is why we know, without a shadow of a doubt, that he has some connection to the Tampa Bay Bucks organization, which is why he has just like pages and pages and pages of statistical analysis of Jameis Winston, clearly provided by, a statistics intern for the Tampa Bay Bucks.
Yeah.
By the way, just the Jameis, Jameis One of One spinning out of control has been one of the great stories of the offseason. You guys got to go. You guys got to go and check it out. The spin. He is spinning SpongeBob meme. But I do think Jameis is on and this is based not at all on his performance, is based only on his draft position.
Yeah.
Every number one overall pick is going to get a second chance.
Sure. So the draft this year will now be virtual. So teams will not even be drafting from their facilities.
There's like virtual war room set up, and basically they're going to be doing a
Zoom?
a Zoom or like an internet draft. It's basically going to be a fantasy draft.
So how is ESPN and NFL Network going to broadcast this, I guess is my question.
Just how they've broadcasted everything. I feel like everyone's going to be from their home. People are on Zoom. They're going in. The audio quality is awful. And, it's just the bare bones.
Prano just sneezed 3 times.
Yeah.
It's allergy season.
He got the COVID.
There's coronavirus going around.
Yeah. I got to sneeze.
I know. I'm messing with you.
Occasionally.
Are you going to watch this?
I'll watch it the way I watch the NFL draft, honestly, which is I don't really I'll watch the NFL draft at a bar. I don't really tune into Kuiper and all these guys breaking it down. I just need to see the picks as they happen.
Yeah.
So this is actually basically the same as I watch the NFL draft. I'm just waiting. Give me the name. Give me the name. Give me the name. I tweeted earlier that this just reeks of a fantasy draft. I can't wait for somebody's connection to fail as their time runs out and they auto draft a kicker in the 3rd round. It's gonna be like Ruther playing NBA 2K. It's like, this is broken. This thing is broken. Why would I draft a kicker?
I feel like this has Cincinnati Bengals making a awful mistake written all over it with the number 1 pick.
Yeah, I just feel like this ends with somebody putting a note on the message board to Roger Goodell about how this whole thing was not fair, that their Wi-Fi at their Hooters where they were doing this failed, and they didn't want to take Tua first overall. They don't know how they had him on the board as number 1.
Will the NFL season start on time? September.
I'm saying yes. I know everybody's saying absolutely not. I have said to you personally a couple times, I said, once the NFL season is truly in danger, the season games, the NFL will fix coronavirus. They'll be like, we solved it. Let's get out there. We also got a great tweet from. Did you see this tweet we got yesterday from? I believe his name is Eddie B. Metz. I replied and told me I had like basically one of the worst takes I've ever heard because he said, I'll find it. Eddie B. Metz. He said, I've been thinking, he tweeted at you and I've been thinking that if the virus had hit the USA during week 2 of the NFL season, everyone would have taken it more seriously. Nobody leaves the house. They would be playing again by week 5. My wife thinks I'm nuts. Thoughts? I replied, I think you're extra nuts. Unlike the NBA, the NFL would have pretended it was nothing, and the next 2 Sundays there would have been 16 stadiums full of 60,000 people, and we'd all have been dead by week 6. Because if there's one thing we know about Roger Goodell, he's like the Donald Trump of commissioners. He's like always going to make the worst decision. Players does not care about the players' health and safety, does not care about the fans. He's just like, we got to get that money. Adam Silver was like, season's canceled. Roger Goodell would have been playing while people were taking out of the stadium on ventilators.
So his argument is that if the coronavirus came out during the season, we would have taken it more serious because there would not have been games.
Yeah, and the canceling of games would have made everybody take it more serious, to which I say there's no way they would have canceled games.
I can see both sides.
I think Roger Goodell would have played the Super Bowl in the rubble at the World Trade Center if that was their only option. Like, I think that guy gives zero fudges about anything except money.
Yeah. It was interesting. I watched the 30 for 30 on Michael Vick. It's a 2-part 30 for 30. And Goodell is featured a fair amount in it. And it's just interesting seeing how after Vic served his time, how there really wasn't going to be he let him back in pretty easily. And I wouldn't say easily. He said he felt that Vic had remorse and was contrite about it. But I also thought there has to, Vic coming back into the league had to be great ratings and a news story for the league.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Goodell doesn't care at all. Alden Smith, we just talked about it last episode when we went through his rap sheet. Alden Smith got arrested on his way to sign his contract with the Cowboys. And they're like, you're good, dog.
Yeah. It's crazy, though. So the Masters has been moved to November 12th to 15th. All these things are being moved into late fall, winter. The NFL has got to be loving it because they got to be thinking, oh, you want to compete against us? Like the Masters. You're going to be competing against the NFL? Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the NFL loves that, but I don't think that they are super concerned about it either.
That's my point.
Yeah. I don't think they want people playing when they're playing, but I don't think that they're like, oh, no, people are going to tune into the Masters. We're going to see how many people really care about this golf stuff.
Sunday at Augusta, or you're going to have some crappy week 3 matchup between the Bengals and Dolphins. What are we talking about here? We're going Masters, baby.
No, we're not. The country won't even come close.
Oh, I'm taking Sunday at Augusta. Are you kidding?
You should.
Nick's just trying to get more work from Tug. Look at this. This is the most blatant appeal to his other employer that I've ever heard.
I don't know if you're going full troll or moron on me. I think you're going full troll.
Oh, come on, dude.
Nick, you should do some research on the NFL numbers.
I'm just saying what I'd be watching.
Okay, that's you. You should do some research. A bad Monday Night Football game. Bad Monday Night Football game.
I'm
hold
aware.
Hold on. Let me finish. Crushes.
Can I finish?
Crushes World Series numbers of good teams.
I mean, we're not talking about the World Series here. We're talking about Sunday at Augusta. I'm not talking about the Masters as a whole. I'm just talking about Sunday.
And I'm talking about NFL will absolutely take a hot, smelly Andy Ruther post-McDonald's CVS chocolate binge that I went on last night, dump all over those Masters ratings.
Okay, that's fine. I won't be watching.
That's what we're discussing.
It's fine. You're missing out, though. Heyman's Corner. Oh. And the Masters too. Like NBC does such a great job with the stream. How you can like go in different holes and get like sneak peek previews of everything. It's just such a nice. Just sitting back by yourself.
I thought the Masters
drinking a Miller Lite.
I thought the Masters was CBS.
It's on NBC. Isn't it not on NBC?
It's on CBS because it's Jim Nantz.
Yeah.
Oh,
You don't even watch it.
Where does
Either way.
Nance go? Nance gonna have to do double duty. They call the Masters and then get on a plane, put us all to sleep watching football too.
Now there's a way to get people watching.
I don't know how the Com app doesn't just have Jim Nance talking about golf as one of the options. Here we are. Look at Rory McIlroy. I'm like, going to a deep sleep, going one of those sleeps where I don't open my mouth all night. Wakes up with that metallic taste in your mouth.
What if Nance and Romo did both a game and the Masters?
Yeah, good for them. They should.
Right? Are announcers? Is just no announcers making money right now?
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Right?
I guess they're off. Right?
They're all furloughed.
I have no idea how it technically works.
I wonder how that
Salary-
works
yeah.
contractually.
Tuned into Sammy Lev's Instagram Live yesterday. He was cooking up some dinner.
That's what I said. Instagram has become the worst version of the Food Network.
It's so true.
Everybody's making food.
I actually got to join, and I was making a frozen pizza myself, and we chatted up and caught up a little bit.
People going like, here's me. It's my famous mac and cheese recipe. If you guys want to follow along, you start with a box of Kraft, dump it in the water, wait a little bit, put the powder in, mix it in with some milk. I don't need a step-by-step.
Yeah.
I mean, when people – don't get me wrong. I love food shows, and I love watching people cook good food, but I feel like this is what would happen if the Food Network was like, you get a show, and you get a show. We're going to preheat the oven. We're just going to – guys, you're going to want to leave the pizza into the freezer until the oven's preheated. You do not want this to thaw. It's really important here. We're going to move the rack. We're going to put it on the middle rack, direct on the rack. We're not going with an oven pan. You're going direct to the rack with a frozen pizza.
Dude, I'll tell you what. And we talked about it with Robert Littell last episode. The Instagram models, they're at an all-time peak during this lockdown. Are you noticing? Like, on Instagram, it's so out of control. Like, this is my daily yoga workout. This is my like, every girl. Like, I wish I was an Instagram model right now. Like, Instagram models.
You can be. They can make that happen. You got a lot of lighting here. I think that should be your Instagram brand from here on out.
Can you make me an Instagram model?
Easily.
Just like the side pose, that look, that sort of smelling your own fart, smile but not smile, smiling with your eyes look that the Instagram models do.
We can do a lot here. I mean, we have a pool. Obviously,
Yeah,
we have
hold
the
some
lighting.
coconut water, hold some kombucha.
Yeah.
Kombucha, as you call it.
I don't have any.
Oh, man. No kombucha?
Dude, because of Costco. I mean, Costco has just been put on hold.
Whenever you say kombucha, I think of a kombucha bottle with a shitty hat on, like Cam Newton. like a bottle of kombucha is a bottle of kombucha with a hat and a scarf.
So the NBA Hall of Fame class was announced.
Great Hall of Fame
It's
class.
a good one.
Great Hall of Fame class. Kobe Bryant, Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett. Were there other names in it? I know those are the big three, if you will. Pun very much intended.
Those are the big three. Also, WNBA, don't care. Rudy Tomjanovich, Eddie Sutton, former college basketball coach.
Rudy Tomjanovich in the
Rudy T. Made it, yeah.
a great Hall of Fame class. Everybody knows. I don't think we have to rehash my feelings on Kobe Bryant as a basketball player, but certainly a Hall of Famer.
Sure.
Certainly a deserved first ballot Hall of Famer. I am a Kevin Garnett stan. I am of the opinion that that there was a few years where Kevin Garnett was the best player in basketball all around, and unfortunately spent those years on the Minnesota Timberwolves. And then, obviously, he, truly in his late prime going to the Celtics it was the addition. I mean, Ray Allen is also a fantastic player and probably also a first ballot Hall of Famer, if you ask me.
Hey, definitely.
But it was really the addition of Kevin Garnett to that team and everything he brought was what got them. And I say Doc Rivers overrated. Like the fact that he got only one with those guys is shameful. But without a doubt in my mind, the best player of this class is Tim Duncan. Tim Duncan, I know you did Tim Duncan facts only, and your question was sort of like no one talks about him as a top 10 player. Undoubtedly, in my opinion, a top 10 player. Honestly, I have him up there. I mean, one day somebody will put a gun to my head and make me do like my official rankings, but like Tim Duncan's hovering around my top 5. I mean,
Yeah.
Tim Duncan was ridiculous. Tim Duncan, arguably the best power forward of all time.
Well, the thing about Duncan, and
Depending on where you put certain players at, you know what I mean? Depending on how you rank, how you classify certain positions.
what made him so great is he did it from both ends.
Yeah.
And then he won. Obviously, the Spurs had a great system in place, but he got the individual accolades, 2 MVPs, multiple finals MVPs, and also he's all-time. You should watch that facts only. When did we do that, Nick? Like in January, February? Like we did it a while ago. But if you watch that video when I lay out all the stats on Duncan, you have a point. He's hovering around that top 5 all time. He was good for that long.
I'm assuming Bill Russell would be a center.
Yeah.
Correct? At least given the era in which he played, he was certainly the man in the middle for them. Like if you move Bill Russell to a different time, what position would he play? I don't know. Kareem, obviously a center. So Tim Duncan, best power forward of all time? Who am I forgetting?
I think he is.
Yeah.
I mean,
All-time starting 5. Hard not to put Tim Duncan at your 4.
Yeah.
Got the mailman.
Not even close.
Okay.
Not even close.
I hear that.
How many league MVPs does Tim Duncan have?
2.
Karl Malone with 1, probably undeserved. I mean,
The only ones you're arguing here is like Dirk, Barkley.
But Dirk's not a power forward.
Yeah, he is.
yeah, he would
Really?
Yeah, he is.
I mean,
100%.
I think he played the 4 for them, but yeah, I mean, obviously nowadays, it's like
It's very
a
fluid.
7-footer. Yeah, exactly. It's like Kevin Durant's also like Kevin Durant's a 3, but Kevin Durant a 2. You know, like it's hard to say what positions have gotten pretty loose, but Tim Duncan, in my opinion, it's not even close to the best player in this class is.
I agree.
Not close.
It's not close. Numbers don't lie.
How many rings does Tim Duncan have?
5.
5?
Well, if you
5? Does he have 5? 2,
if
3?
you
4,
look at them
5?
individually,
5?
yeah. And again, obviously we're keeping this basketball. If you want to take Kobe, who also has 5, versus Duncan, like all around stats, just get out of here.
I mean, also Finals MVPs for Duncan. It's got to be 3 of them, right? And then Kawhi and Tony Parker. That's got to be the answer, or am I wrong?
I forget.
Nick, 3 Finals MVPs.
I forget.
Give me 3 seconds here.
I remember that Tony Parker got 1. I remember Kawhi got 1.
Yeah.
3 finals MVPs.
3 Finals MVPs.
99, 03, and 05.
And let's not forget, the Spurs won the second Tim Duncan came in the league. Did he win as a rookie or did he win year 2? But either way, it was David Robinson gets hurt. Spurs are trash. Spurs get the first pick. Spurs get Duncan. Duncan and Robinson together beat that Knicks team.
Yeah.
It's his second year, yes.
I mean,
he completely turned the franchise around.
Yeah.
They went from the number 1 overall pick.
and Kobe Bryant would probably get, because of his personality and because of his worldwide fame and because of all the things, the very Jordan-like way that he was, marketed and pushed on everybody, he would have already gotten a lot of the sort of hype around this class. It would have already been a very like Kobe will go last in the, speeches and all that. He would very much get like the Michael Jordan treatment. With his death, it'll be tenfold of that. Tim Duncan, also a very quiet guy, probably not going to throw his high school coach under the bus or start talking about all the players he still thinks about beating. But from a basketball standpoint, it is not close who the best player in this class is. And I'm not taking any shots at Kobe Bryant or Kevin Garnett. I am speaking solely about Tim Duncan's underappreciated greatness.
Yeah.
The big fundamental.
Killer bank shot.
And
he's got to be one of Nick's favorites. Nick loves the bank shot.
In real life?
The square's up there for a reason.
In real life.
No, I can't imagine Nick hitting a lot of bank mid-range jumpers in 2K.
Well,
I've seen Nick bank more threes by accident than anyone in my entire life.
Who's calling them accidental,
You
man?
never
I'm
have-
aiming for that square.
He called game.
You never once said bank.
Don't matter. 2 points is 2 points. 3 points
Prano,
is 3 points.
Prano, who's trying to use the backboard on a straightaway three, dead center? Nicky D.
You guys want to hear some of these Hall of Fame snubs? See
Sure.
if they're any are deserving. All right, so we got Shawn Marion, Chauncey Billups, Buck Williams, Horace Grant, Terry Porter, Larry Nance, Elton Brand, Detlef Schrempf. Am I saying that right?
I mean, I feel like Schrempf, a bit of a snub from the international standpoint because they love to put international guys in.
Yeah.
I think Dino Raj is in the Hall of Fame once again. I'd like to always go back to that in case we want to throw a little bit of shade at the
Chauncey. I'd have to look at Chauncey's numbers.
I mean, Chauncey, obviously, Mr. Big Shot, Finals
MVP.
But, I mean, Hall of Fame?
Yeah, he's averaging 15, 3,
Is Robert
and
Horry
5.
in the Hall of Fame now, too? I mean, another Mr. Big Shot kind of guy.
Big Shot Bob.
But Shawn Marion, underrated. I don't think he's a Hall of Famer, but I think what Shawn Marion's underrated career deserves is people to discuss him as a Hall of Fame snub. I think Shawn Marion underrated. Also, Shawn Marion with his transition ability and his ability to shoot from the perimeter and his wing defense greatly improved by playing with Steve Nash and under the tutelage of Mike D'Antoni. So, but Shawn Marion still great player. Deserves to be discussed in the snubbery, as does Chauncey Billups. But I don't feel either of them are Hall of Famers.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, if Chauncey Billups had happened to be born in Canada, he'd be in because the NBA Hall of Fame doesn't give a shit.
Yeah, it is weird.
I'm not even sure Tim Duncan's in for his ability or just as a representation of the Cayman Islands.
Virgin Islands.
Virgin Islands, whatever.
Right, the U.S. Virgin Islands. What are the U.S. Virgin Islands?
That's it was a group of islands settled by A.C. Green. There's Green Island. There's Tebow Island.
That's a good one. That's a deep dive.
He's the 20th snub right there, AC Green.
AC Green?
Yeah.
You think he was really a virgin? Dude, I just love the thought of the Showtime Lakers. Because the rumor again, was that they had a sex room at the old Forum. The thought of all the Lakers basically having orgies and AC Green like standing outside the room reading the Bible or something. Never? He never had sex once?
I don't know.
You know my theory on that. Most people who claim virgin, I just think they're gay.
Well, it's probably offending like thousands of people, but it's okay.
Your boy Russ was a virgin until he got married.
No, he was a born-again virgin, which, again, makes me think that Russ might be gay.
Okay.
I've been on record saying that. Just like his boy, Tyler Lockett, virgin. Questionable.
Yeah.
At no point in any scripture does Jesus say, hey, no sex before marriage.
If Russell Wilson's gay, how long do you think he holds his partner's balls for? just 5 seconds too long?
I really let Russ down. I did Russ bad last night. in Madden.
I feel like you were like doing an homage to Russ. You just stay in the pocket for like remarkably too long until somebody came and stripped him. You were just like, I'm going to take this Russ. I'm going to make this a Russ caricature.
You realize Russ is about, if Russ has 2 more seasons, how he's played his first 8 years, like hands down, first ballot Hall of Famer. You realize that, right?
If you say so.
No, I'm knowing so.
So you're saying 10 years of this play is a Hall of Famer?
100%.
So Matt Ryan also first ballot Hall of Famer.
100%.
Retires now. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Okay.
And I've battled a lot of people on. I'm not even the biggest Matt Ryan guy, but numbers don't lie. I mean, this argument, oh, was I battling you? Oh, yeah, it was Nick.
I wasn't even really battling. You were just saying something, and I was like, oh, okay, well.
No, he was getting frustrated about the
Matt Ryan, please.
Okay, this is my point. And we kind of talked about this last time Shawn Marion, you weren't here, but when Shawn Marion was here, you can't, dude, these guys who play the league this long and put up those type of numbers consistently.
Matt Ryan has the most yards of anybody in the first 12 years in history.
And you can't devalue that. And my argument back to everyone who says this and that, especially about Matt Ryan, I've noticed. My brother was going off. My brother Greg, the other day, like, oh, it's so stupid. I go, dude, the numbers don't lie. Everyone says, oh, it's a pass-happy league, which, you know what argument ends that? Matt Ryan didn't miss a snap for 12 years.
Right.
And that's the problem. Find me a quarterback, especially in today's league, which is pass-happy, who can stay on the field consistently for 12 years. Patrick Mahomes, who is by far the best quarterback in the league, is already missed games.
Right.
And that's my point.
I mean, certainly longevity is a major factor. Again, you know, the quarterback stats thing is like you've got to consider the fact that putting up a bunch of passing stats doesn't necessarily mean your team's going to win. In fact, there's proof that you're not going to win. And so you really have to find, if you're breaking down, you know, how great a quarterback is, I think you have to look at it through the view of they have to be a game manager in some sense, but they also have to, you know, be able to elevate your team. I think I am a Matt Ryan fan. I'm not a Matt Ryan stan. I think I look at Matt Ryan's career and put it right where it should be. But like you said, everybody's on the Drew Brees is like everybody wanted to do the Drew Brees GOAT parade when he was breaking all the records. Matt Ryan's pacing past him.
Yeah.
And, you know, Drew Brees got to that Super Bowl and won it. Matt Ryan got to that Super Bowl and didn't win it. I mean, the idea that people are going to say that there are going to be people that ride the Drew Brees is the GOAT float, and then there's going to be people like your boy Dylan Mata, who I know you have blocked, who's like, Matt Ryan's the 15th best quarterback in the league. It's like, I almost blocked him for that. He had like Dak and like Wentz and, ludicrous players ahead of him.
Matt Ryan is currently 10th in the history of the NFL for passing yards. He's less than 300 yards away from passing Elway for 9th.
Right.
So to me, that just puts it in perspective. The idea that somebody is 10th all time, and by the way, everyone else in this list is either a Hall of Famer now or will be one. So let's just end the argument. This doesn't mean that I'm like a big Matt Ryan stan either, but to say he's not a Hall of Famer.
I mean, you're arguing first ballot Hall of Famer. I have no problem with Matt Ryan making it to the Hall of Fame, but there's no way he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer if he gets into a car accident tomorrow. Or maybe he does because, you know, I should say, if Matt Ryan gets into a career-ending car accident tomorrow, but not a deadly car accident tomorrow, I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But, again, there's no sign that Matt Ryan's not going to play for 4 or 5 more years.
This was the first year he missed games.
Right.
In his entire career.
So 4 or 5 more years. I mean, again.
Joe, in 4 or 5 years, he's going to be top 5 all time.
That's what I'm saying. So if you're top 5 all time and you've got an MVP and you've played this long and, like, you're the face of a franchise, yeah, to me, you are a Hall of Famer.
And to be honest, People are not. I don't know if I want to. I might say. I'm just saying. He's got an MVP. How many MVPs does Marino have? I want to compare the two.
Marino has an MVP for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, I don't know if he has more than one, but
Marino made it to one Super Bowl. I'm just saying where Matt Ryan is trending, he's about 10,000 yards in back of Marino, and Marino had some bad playoffs.
yeah,
Matt
he's
Ryan,
I believe a 66 playoff rating.
Matt Ryan has also had a few bad playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, so at the end of the day, if their numbers are side by side across the board, like what are we discussing here?
Well, it goes back to the thing. There are people on the Marino the GOAT train. There's been Marino, the circumstances, the no running game, the no defenses, but look at his passing ability. But again, I argue it is more important than that. That is not what it takes to be a winning quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Better win percentages than Matt Ryan. Alex Smith, Jake Delhomme, Phil Simms, McNabb, Marino, Cunningham, Romo, Luck.
You're picking one statistic. Chad Pennington has a higher quarterback rating than Joe Montana.
Yeah, I'm picking one statistic just like Ruther's picking this whole passing yards thing. Like, yeah, passing yards isn't equating to wins. I mean, we looked at this playoffs. Every time Lamar Jackson is throwing for a lot of yards, he's losing games. Well, just because you're passing for a lot of yards.
He's in year 2.
Yeah, I know.
Matt Ryan's in year 12. He's thrown for more yards than anybody in their first 12 years. He played in the Super Bowl. He won an MVP.
He's going to be all-time in touchdown passes as well. It's not just yards. Like, again, my thing about Matt Ryan is he's consistently putting out there. Has he had some nice weapons? Sure.
Also, when you consider winning percentage, it's the same thing. People love to go like, oh, Eli Manning's a 500 quarterback. Well, you know who else is in? I mean, you have Matt Ryan in a division with MVP Cam that went to a Super Bowl, Drew Brees, who's won an MVP and gone to a Super Bowl. Like, the last 10 years of the NFC South has been pretty good, pretty solid. Tough to win that division every year. Tough to go 12. I mean, we're talking about Tom Brady's winning percentage. Cool. Tom Brady every year beats Mark Sanchez, Ryan Fitzpatrick, Josh Allen, whoever's playing for the, Dolphins. It's easy to have a good winning percentage when your division is terrible.
Nick has a mustache right now.
I know. Everybody knows I approve.
You approve. Nick, now where did you what did you shave with to get that mustache?
I think he's done one of your Harry's razors.
You did.
Yeah.
You even used the shave gel, didn't you?
Yeah.
Guys, do not leave your houses. Have your Harry's razors shipped right to your house. That's what I love most about Harry's is that you don't have to leave, and especially in this time that we're going through as a world, now is definitely the time to have Harry's razors shipped to your house. It's very convenient. Blade refills are delivered directly to your front door. You don't even have to deal with somebody. They're delivered directly to your front door, and you should feel good about your purchase. Look at this. Look at this guy's mustache. He needs to shave the goatee a little again. See, it's growing back in.
Grows back quick on me.
100% quality guarantee. That's what Harry's does. 100%. If you don't like your shave, let them know, and they'll give you a full refund. And get this. This is what I love about Harry's. 1% of their proceeds are set aside for nonprofit organizations devoted to helping provide access to better health care for men and veterans. So they're giving back. Listeners of Dirty Sports can redeem a great trial set at harrys.com/dirty. Guys, now more than ever is the time to take advantage of this while you're sitting at home. You'll get a weighted ergonomic handle for a firm grip, a 5-blade razor with a lubricating strip and trimmer blade, that rich lathering shave gel with aloe to keep your skin hydrated, and a travel blade cover for your razor to keep it easy to grab on the go.
You know what I loved about the Harry's razor? Because I'm someone who used to just use disposable razors when I shaved.
Yeah.
It's whenever you go through it and you shave, you always got a little bit of hair on the razor.
Yeah.
The hair on the razor, it falls off so easily. It just makes for a nice shave with one blade. You can reuse that blade. Like I'm on the same blade going on like a whole month now.
That's right, guys. It'll last. They are built to last. Go to harrys.com/dirty to start shaving better today. Once again, that's harrys.com/dirty. Do you want to listen to some dirtball calls, Joe?
Sure. Before we do that, can we do one thing?
Yeah.
I wanted to like, am I looking at the rundown from Nick's computer? Or is this from your? Or it's both.
Both.
Okay. Can we just delete that the Big Three is starting a reality show? Has been on the rundown for 6 weeks.
Yeah.
The Big Three meets Big Brother for a reality TV show. I don't know the story, but I do know the headline. It's been on our rundown for 6 weeks.
You know, you have access to all the rundowns.
I know, but I don't.
You could just be like, I'm done with this.
Let's listen to some dirtball calls.
All right, let's see what we got going on here. By the way, Joe, I think the dirtballs are scared to call in before we get to calls.
I told you that. I told you we were discussing because I put out the call for a DS home challenge. Let us know how you're passing the time at home. I put out a call for everybody to do their best Andy Ruther impression. And you're like, no one's submitting anything. I was like, yeah, because anytime any dirtball writes like one comment on a message board, you roast them.
I don't roast them.
You're like, you're the Jeffrey Ross of dirtballs.
I mean, go back
like,
to our Twitch stream last
yeah.
night, just roasting the fans.
Okay.
Kids are like, hey, Ruther, learn to pass. And you're like, you don't get laid. You haven't seen a vagina since you came out of your mother's.
Okay, I was roasting the gamers last night, but I don't. The call thing is interesting. We've received less calls since the pandemic started.
Because you're like, fix your phone connection. Call should be between 47 and 1 minute and 6 seconds. What is wrong with you people?
Who's the last caller I went off on? I think it's been a long time. Neither of you could even think of it.
I mean, I can't off the top of my head, but I guarantee you it's been in the last 6 episodes.
Guarantee it hasn't. Guarantee it hasn't. 310-359-8365 is the hotline.
Hey, Joe and Andy. This is Tarek from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I'm a longtime listener. I really enjoy your show. It's very factual and one of the only shows that actually isn't all bullshit and hot takes. Anyway, I'm a Panthers fan. So, Joe, I've echoed your sentiments exactly about Cam Newton. I saw the writing on the wall for a while. The other thing I agree with you guys is about running backs not getting overpaid. So my interesting question for you guys is, do the Panthers re-sign Christian McCaffrey, eventually ship him as a slot receiver the next year or two to catch balls, within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage? Or do they trade him away, get some draft assets? Really interested in what you guys think. Thanks for a terrific show. Hope you guys stay safe, stay healthy out there, and condoms are for the rest of the NFC South. Take care.
That's an interesting question. And I think that the answer is based on one thing and one thing alone. Are you doing some sort of a rebuild? Which really isn't something that you do in the NFL. I really think unless you're a terrible team, the idea of rebuilding is kind of reckless because you're always one or two name players, playmakers on top of a good base away from being competitive. Yes, the Panthers need a quarterback. Teddy Bridgewater is obviously coming in, but is that a placeholder for them? Like, I don't know. To me, it seems like if they're going with Bridgewater, then they're trying to win.
Yeah.
Obviously, they lost your boy Kuechly, so you're losing the heart and soul of your defense. But to me, I think you've got to – I mean, it's easier said than done. Talk to Christian McCaffrey and be like, we're going to pay you like our receiver. I don't know. Like, I think maybe the running back market also is going to reset a little bit with, like, Gurley getting cut and moved to another team. Like, I just don't think that you can do it. We already saw it with quarterbacks. I mean – nobody this offseason, I mean, Goff is still right up there. Like, the free agent quarterbacks, like, no one's getting, like, absurd. Like, I already feel like it's, like, dropping. We'll see what happens with Mahomes. Did Mahomes sign? No. He hasn't
No.
gotten like the super deal yet. Dak obviously didn't. I think if I'm the Panthers GM, I keep Christian McCaffrey. Because like
At what cost, though? That's the question.
right.
I mean, I love McCaffrey,
But again, he does so much. I mean,
and that's what I'm going to say. But they use him. So he's what, played 2 years? Am I correct?
yeah.
So Christian's played 2 years. The amount of usage that his body, the numbers don't lie. The wear and tear for somebody like that who gets that many touches could probably only do it at this level for another 1 to 2 years.
But again, McCaffrey and his receiving, like, can't Christian McCaffrey become Julian Edelman?
Yes.
Can he become Wes Welker,
Yes.
where he's not your starting tailback anymore, but like this guy said, putting him in the slot and using him? But also, imagine the reverse, where you don't necessarily have to play him everything at tailback, like you can put Christian McCaffrey and be like, we're going with a pass heavy offense. You're going to play the slot, but every once in a while we can put you in the backfield.
Yeah.
I mean, a talent level of McCaffrey, it reminds me of the Marshall Faulk move. Marshall Faulk's on the Colts, and you ship him to St. Louis, and they're the greatest show on turf, basically because of Marshall Faulk.
Also with the Panthers too, like there's not really a face of the Panthers right now. I mean, you lose Cam, you lose Kuechly. Like, Christian McCaffrey is the face of the Carolina Panthers organization right now. I don't think that they can afford to lose that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so invaluable.
I mean, obviously, it's easier said than done to say, like, you've got to be smart with these deals. But, I mean, with everything going on, has there ever been a better time to cry, like, we just can't give you more than that?
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but Christian McCaffrey doesn't seem like a guy who's holding out. You know what I mean? Like, father's a football player, Stanford, like, doesn't seem like a guy to me who's like, no, it needs to be $26 million a year. I have a feeling Christian McCaffrey
Because he came from money.
Because he came from money, yeah. And because, it's like I feel like Christian McCaffrey with $20 million a year can figure it out.
Well, he's dating that smoking hot model, Olivia Culpo, so
Okay.
I think that my point is he's got the life going. I feel like when you're dating a model, money might be kind of less of a factor. Just me personally, if I'm banging a model, I don't care about an extra few million because I'm banging a model.
Okay.
Anybody else on that take?
I mean, it's they go hand in hand. Again, it's
Just saying.
She's also probably banging him because he's a millionaire.
Yeah. Just saying. Because Nick always says to me, it always goes back to sex with you, Andy.
Always does. I mean, I'm not wrong.
It makes your son uncomfortable.
All right. By the way, my son, we're going to end the last call. We're going to do that last. Somebody's coming hard at my son.
Oh, no.
Nothing new there.
Yeah, I might have to defend my son. But before that, let's go back to the movies.
What is going on, guys? It is LeBroy calling from upstate New York. I've been trying to call unemployment all day. It's not going well, so I figured I'd just call Dirty Sports instead. I just want to know you guys' top 3 gangster movies, or top 5. I think for me it'd have to go The Departed, let's see, Godfather 2, and Casino. All right, boys, stay dirty, and God bless New York City. Peace out.
So a Scorsese guy.
The Departed, Godfather 2, and Casino.
So this has been on the rundown for a minute, too. We listened to this call last week and didn't play it. The first question I had was,
what constitutes
a gangster movie? And I think I've come up with something also. I think gangster movie, gangsta movie, heist movie, three genres, right? Like the black, like Boys in the Hood, all that. Like they're gangsters, but they're not gang. We're not talking about like mob. We're not. I feel like he's asking organized crime films. I feel like
American Gangster.
right is an organized crime film,
Correct.
but like Reservoir Dogs. Heist movie. That's what I said, right? The Town, heist movie. Not that the town's in my like mix or anything, but I feel like this is a organized crime movie.
Okay.
Question.
So you're saying all of these fall under gangster movies, or just we
No.
have to go under the mob?
I feel like that's what he's asking when
Okay.
he's asking gangster movie, organized crime,
I mean, look,
gangster
dude.
film.
Okay, now I don't watch many sports movies. I've seen
Pulp Fiction, right? Is a gangster movie?
I've seen most of all these though. It's really tough. Like by the way, I have no problem with your list, Lagoy. But then I also say, man, the original Godfather's great. Goodfellas. I mean, it's I know a lot of people liked Irishman. I wouldn't put it in my top 3. But you know what I'm saying? Like this is where it gets really difficult.
It's really difficult for me as well. I got a lot of things in there, but I'll tell you the surprise on my list. A Bronx Tale. Love A Bronx Tale. A Bronx Tale is in my top 3. I'm going, and not in any particular order, but 3. Goodfellas, Godfather 2, A Bronx Tale.
And I think there's a consensus on this, right? That Godfather 2 is better than the original.
Yeah, but
I mean,
it's also fair to say like you can't like if somebody says The Godfather over Godfather 2 because you can't have one without the other, I'm fine with that. I'm totally fine with that. I'm fine if you put them together and say The Godfathers. That's what I'm going. I love Casino. To me, I go back and forth. Like whichever I watch more recent, I go back and forth on Goodfellas and Casino. Goodfellas, Casino. I think Scorsese as a director also like just kept getting better and learning things. But also when you look at Goodfellas, Scorsese does like to use the same tricks. He does like to do like an homage to himself or just like, every movie I'm going to do this in. So for me, I think he really hit his like Michael Jordan is winning championships with Goodfellas and, the repeats of Casino and The Departed and whatever. So I'm going Goodfellas for my Scorsese. I'm going Godfather 2 as like kind of the granddaddy of them all. And underrated for me, but more rewatchable, I think. A Bronx Tale. I love A Bronx Tale. What a great movie.
Where do we put a movie like Blow, as far as what genre?
That's a
He's a drug dealer.
that's a that's a smuggling movie. I almost want to say. It's definitely a drug movie.
Yeah.
Where it gets, again, I almost feel like this is an Italian organized crime question or American Gangsters. Obviously, Denzel's version of that role.
Really good movie, by the way.
Really good movie.
American Gangster's a really good movie.
But I feel like, again, like I love Pulp Fiction. I think Pulp Fiction's an incredible movie. Obviously, there's an organized crime syndicate that exists in this movie. They're hitmen for him. Harvey Keitel,
sure,
like the whole thing. They all work for a gangster. But to me, I'm assuming that this is not part of that question. That's where I'm going. Does that jump any of those movies for me? I don't know. So I'm just gonna take it for how the way I think the question was meant to be asked, whether or not it is correct, and maybe Lagoy can, call back and clarify. But in my definition of the question, I've given you my 3.
I mean, it's tough. Like, I don't know. Like, I've realized through all
The
this.
through line in mind, by the way, Robert De Niro.
Yeah, it's a good through line. But what I've realized is it's really tough for me to pick 3.
But that is the point of the call, Andy.
But I'm not good at this. I'm saying in general. All these things.
You're not good at video games, but you did it.
No, but all these.
Pick 3 movies, damn it.
I don't like doing this. I don't like. That's just not how I view when people say, "Oh, what's your favorite this? What's your like?" I've realized I'm not good at that. I know it sounds crazy. If somebody said to me like, "What do you?"
Well,
what,
thank God you have a sports podcast in the millennial Twitter culture where literally everything is ranking things and picking 3 out of 9 and like.
I'm not good at that.
Okay, well, no one's asking you to be good at it. We're just asking for an answer.
Goodfellas, Departed, Pulp Fiction, my 3.
Wow, he's got Pulp Fiction in his.
Well, I originally I wanted to use Reservoir Dogs because I love Reservoir Dogs. But if we're calling that a heist film, I gotta have my boy Quentin Quarantino in there.
And you can call it whatever you want.
Could you call him Quentin Quarantino?
Yeah, sorry, quarantine.
And again, you can define it however you want. But yeah, like I almost feel like Reservoir Dogs is a heist movie, right? Because then there's and it all sort of everything is about the heist, the after of the heist. Like to me, that's a heist movie. And honestly, Tarantino movies are just like whatever they are. But like, I'm calling Reservoir Dogs a heist movie. But if you call Pulp Fiction a gangster movie, I'm okay with that.
I'm fine with calling it a heist movie. It's still, if it was under the umbrella of gangster movies, like this IMDb list has it, it'd be in my.
There's
it'd
a
be,
gang
it'd
of
be in
men.
my 3.
I
Yes.
mean, to me, you have to have a Godfather. You have to. It's kind of like the thing with Rocky. Like these are all-time great movies. Whether it's Godfather 1 or 2, they're so good.
Donnie Brasco, underrated.
I was just going to bring that up.
Underrated, in my opinion. Underrated film. A lot of people think both. I think a lot of criticism of both Johnny Depp and Al Pacino's career, or sometimes they go a little caricature-y. But I think they were both fantastic in that movie. I think it's a great movie. It's hovering around my list.
Can we all agree Scarface?
I'm a Johnny Depp stan. Oh, Scarface is wildly overrated.
Yeah.
Also, kind of a drug movie, right? I mean, he's a gangster, but
I laugh at Scarface.
of course,
yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
silly.
it's so ridiculous. It's just, I don't know. Al Pacino being the guy from Cuba is just funny to me.
Yeah.
And
be my friend.
yeah, I mean, just the whole thing. Michelle Pfeiffer. Is there a bigger, like, Michelle Pfeiffer in Scarface, one of the biggest bitch characters.
Yeah. Your womb is so polluted.
I would definitely have to go Godfather 1 or 2, maybe probably 2. It's tough for me not to have Goodfellas, and I'd have to rewatch it. I used to just love Casino, and I was probably biased because I lived in that town for a couple years, but I also love Departed. I mean, it's just I don't know. I'm bad at this.
That cast is like it's top notch. Like it's not like your typical gangster cast.
Which
Departed,
so good.
Yeah.
but
Because it's the Irish gangsters.
Yeah.
No, it's really good. I just feel I felt like Departed, and I love Departed. I am 100% a Nicholson stan. I just feel like that was where Scorsese is really getting into like, and this is the point in the movie where we play the Rolling Stones song, and this is the point in the movie where we did like Scorsese definitely has a little bit of paint by numbers in his career at some point, and I liked it when it was the first time I was seeing some of those moves. But again, I'm a 3 movies a day on the Criterion.
You're
Channel
kind of a movie snob.
Yeah. It's just it is what it is. It's like how I talked about Joker. It's like if your critique of Jokers, it's Taxi Driver and King of Comedy together, then I can understand you not liking it. I kind of like it as an homage to those films. But then it can only be so good as it is an homage.
Yeah.
It can only be ranked so high.
Well,
It can't be ranked higher than something it is an homage to, right?
yeah. The last call I want to play today. Do you want me to play it, Nick?
go for it. I don't care.
Someone's coming hot for
Well, you already previewed it. How do you not play it?
Nikki D. And this same individual who I've met a few times has come hot for me a few times.
Okay.
So like
Who you've met a few times.
it's Kyle Aronofsky.
Okay.
So I empathize with Nick is what I told him. And I was playing the call last night, and you'll love this. I'm playing the call for Nick, and he's laughing. And in the end, he's like, yo, what the hell? Because you know how these calls can take a turn.
Yeah.
And just get vicious.
Yeah.
So
You just play the call.
welcome to DirtBall calls.
Kyle Aronofsky calling from Toms River, New Jersey, home of the 1998 Little League World Series champions.
Got the beautiful.
What's going on, boys? Kyle Aronofsky calling back once again from beautiful Toms River, New Jersey, home of the 1998 Little League World Series champions. And I'm calling in and listening to the most recent podcast, and I'm fucking livid at Nick Dale's trash take that he's okay with the NFL changing, the schedule to 17 games and adding a team in the playoffs and only having one with the bye. Like, bro, you're advocating for it because it's going to be a more exciting, end of the season. Do you not realize that the playoffs, it's going to be a lower quality football because, one, they're playing more football. You're going to see more guys injured. And you're like, oh, they're going to be, fighting to get into the playoffs. Who gives a fuck if it's the Jets or the Dolphins who get in at a 7 seed and go and lose in Kansas City or in New England or wherever? Like, what are you talking about, bro? It is literally
What are we talking about?
going to degrade playoff football, in my opinion, significantly. And say you have a really strong 2 seed like the Chiefs were this year, and they get to the Super Bowl, and then they play maybe even a less dominant team in the NFC, but they were a 1 seed and they got that extra week of rest. And Joe made a great point that they, if you could just ride out the last 3 weeks of the regular season, you have a month basically of resting your starters. Maybe they play for a half. You get all of these guys back from injury, and you can just kind of coast through. It really is something that I think about often as a major detriment to football. And honestly, I don't think they're going to keep it this way. I think this is going to be something that might be around. And the NFL, obviously, all the leagues are very stubborn. They never admit when they're wrong and fix things. But I think this is something that in the next CBA in 10 years or whatever, they're going to go back to 16 games and fixing the playoffs. And Andy, it's been 30 years because it's worked. Why fix it if it's not broken? That's it. Condoms are for Nick Dale and your fucking horrible takes. Kill yourself.
No, I was waiting for it. It's oh, he saved it for the real end.
Yeah. Told Nicky D to kill himself.
I mean, I feel like that's again that can be taken with a bit of a grain of salt. I think we've made the call for self-harm on this show a little bit casual.
We?
Oh, you have told plenty of people to kill themselves, Andy.
I mean, come at me. You can come at me. You can call me, names, whatever you want to do. It's fine. I'm used to it. Just keep your call under a minute, so we don't have to hear your trash ass Jersey negativity.
Wow! Wow!
God.
It was a minute 55. Nick has a point.
Wow!
Gonna say my son has a point.
Strong comeback. Point, D'Alessandro.
Minute 55, and he hitting you with that Jersey accent.
I mean, yeah, I obviously, repeating basically every point I had about why it's a terrible idea. So I agree with the thought and the just everything behind Kyle's call. But still, in the karate match, point D'Alessandro.
Take it.
Because he waited, Johnny Lawrence was doing all the fancy stuff, and Nick just got in there with a crane kick at the end.
Yeah.
155.
So let us know how you really feel. 310-359-8365. Who will call? Who will be scared to call? Don't make me the bad guy, Joe Prano.
What? Nick's a bad guy now. Nick's sunning people. Sniper shots.
By the way, Nick's right though. 60 seconds, guys. Let's keep these calls to 60 seconds or less. That's the show. We did it. Covered. We keep not covering. You know what we keep not covering? Oh, and I just keep feeling bad. We keep not covering what went down in Savagetown on Friday or Thursday.
Okay. And we keep not covering your nerd discussion, which I feel like you've been putting off for a while as well.
We can save it for next episode.
Okay.
I'm feeling confident about how this episode ended. We don't have to just force things.
Okay.
Trust me. We might.
So are we saving your drama for the next episode as well?
Sure.
Okay.
Savage Town drama. Shit went down. Arrest happened. People were hit with golf clubs. I'll tease it a little. Shit happened.
Coming out swinging like Tiger Woods' wife.
Yeah. I saw some stuff. I talked to some police twice and crackheads. Craziness. All right, guys. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram. Subscribe to us
Twitch.
on Twitch, YouTube.
We're everywhere now.
We everywhere.
Mr. Worldwide.
At Joe Prano on Instagram, at Fictional Life on Twitter. That's it. Let's do this.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter. You should know where to follow me. Nick, where can they watch? Well, actually, Nick's playing Twitch tonight.
Me and you are.
Me and you. Dirty Sports.
Dirty Sports Twitch. But every Wednesday and Friday, I'll be live on Twitch at twitch.tv/NickDale.
Well, Nicky D. All right, guys, that's the show. Stay safe. Stay warm. And most importantly, stay dirty.